Been reporting all morning, law enforcement has arrested a 22-year-old man in Utah on suspicion of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk. They announced the arrest of Tyler Robinson earlier today. It's possible prosecutors may pursue the death penalty. With us now is criminal defense attorney and former New Mexico prosecutor John Day. John, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I think it's important to preface this that even though the accused shooter, as we understand, has confessed to the crime, we can't call him Charlie Kirk's killer, at least not yet, correct?
Well, yeah, if he has confessed, that's one thing, but he hasn't been convicted of anything. And there's a lot that has to unfold right now. We don't know what the potential charges could be, state or federal, and that's an interesting issue in itself.
What happens now with the criminal case? How long is it going to take before he's brought into court, and then where does it go from there?
Well, he'll be brought into court for first appearance pretty quickly, and the judge will read him the charges, and he'll enter a not guilty plea because he's going to be represented either by private counsel that his family has gotten or by public defenders. And again, right now, it looks like it's a state case. Murder is generally a state charge unless there's something to hang a federal hook on it, like transportation across state lines or something like that. So right now, we assume it's going to start off in state court, but you can have joint federal and state or separate prosecutions by the state and the federal government.
Well, the governor of Utah said right there in the news conference the day of the shooting, in no uncertain terms, Utah has the death penalty. So they're going to try for that. And then that opens up the possibility that he may strike some sort of bargain, some sort of plea. We'll find out more about, did anybody put him up to this? Was he acting alone? Things like that, right?
Right. There's a lot more that has to develop. We don't know a whole lot right now, but at the end of the day, how this ends up. Remember, look at the Donald Koberger case up in Idaho, where he avoided a trial by pleading guilty, and he avoided a death penalty outcome by pleading guilty. So whether that's going to happen here or not, it remains to be seen. But one of the things that could happen is to avoid a death penalty, a defendant may enter a guilty plea and just do away with the trial entirely.
Let's say that he is convicted and does get the death penalty. Could that possibly be expedited due to the very public nature and heinous nature of this? We know that Texas has ways of doing that. Is the same the truth in Utah?
Well, what's going to happen if there is some type of obviously if there's a trial, it's going to be a long process. Most likely to avoid the death penalty, a defendant would at least ask for a trial in a case like this. But we don't know, obviously, what his defense team, what they're working on now. I mean, one of the things that anyone who's defending someone like this needs to look into is a history of mental health, mental illness, and has there been any kind of treatment? Is there something that would explain or at least mitigate or have some factor to affect what happened? And so right now, he's not convicted of anything. Right now, he hasn't been brought into court. So there's a lot that has to develop. But what's going to be fascinating to see is there some type of defense based on his mental state?
How do you think this will play out?
I think we have a lot to learn. I mean, was there anybody else involved, or was this something where he was going down the rabbit hole on the internet? And the investigators are going to find a lot of information based on searches of his phone, searches of his computer. Was he in communication with other people? Did other people know about this or suspect this? Or was there anything online that he was involved in that led to this? Or was this just an anomalous situation where a guy who's the son of a cop? I mean, that's one of and apparently his mother was a social worker with some type of therapy background. And you would think that, were there any sort of warning signs? Was there sort of a slide into isolation and violence and something that led to this? So there's a lot we have to learn still.
John Day, criminal defense attorney and former New Mexico prosecutor. John, thanks so much for joining us.